So I'm in the studio with a man that everybody of the Alleghenies has come to know and love and rely on for their news. But he's more than just a local weatherman. There's a lot to him. His name is Chief Meteorologist Jim Burton. He's a meteorologist here at WJAC. So a lot of people think, well, he must have lived here all his life, but that's not the case. Do you want to tell us where you come from, Jim?
Well, I grew up in Labrador, and that's northeastern Canada. Just go to Maine and go north about 300 miles, and you'll find my hometown.
Well, I hear that you have some hockey days behind you. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your hockey days?
Well, growing up where I did, you either learn to swing an axe and become a lumberjack or a hockey player early on, and I played for a while professionally in the IHL and the WHA until knee injuries got rid of me in a very young age. And then I went on into science and television.
Well, you like to live on the wild side a little bit, it seems like. So how about you tell us a little bit about your love for motorcycles? I hear you have a love for motorcycles.
I love anything to really do outdoors. Riding motorcycles, I have dirt bikes, I have a Harley. But I just like being outside in any kind of weather. You know, people that know me well enough that I like wintertime weather, the fall, cooler temperatures. But I try to get outside any time I can do that. So I just love being out, getting involved in things.
Yeah, and you actually didn't start off as a weatherman. You also did some radio, I hear?
Right. I went to college at CMU in Pittsburgh, and I was interning with Joe DiNardo at the time at Channel 4. I also was doing morning radio on Hit Radio 96 just to put myself through college. And one thing led to another. I started doing a lot of voiceover work. I worked at Key 95 in Johnstown and worked in Pittsburgh at the same time going to school. And then when I finally finished my degree, I got into meteorology full-time.
So you got to do a lot of networking. You got to meet a lot of interesting people.
Yeah.
You want to name some of the interesting people that you were able to meet?
Through television and radio, I met some famous actors. I met Mick Jagger and Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones. I got to meet The Who. The list is endless. I was just not necessarily the one interviewing, but just being by happenstance, I was with people in the NBC networks and some of the radio people I worked for. We interviewed.
Well, I'm sure that we all are wondering, what are some of the crazy stories that you have then?
Oh, I don't know if we could go into some of that, but I had lunch, or it was a meet and greet type of thing with the Rolling Stones in Philadelphia years ago. And Mick Jagger was the nicest, kindest person you can imagine, just an everyday kind of guy. Then Keith Richards came in and smoking his cigarette, and he went on and on. Oh, you got to try the potato salad, the bleeping potato salad, just bleeping. And cigarette ashes are flying everywhere, and he's just, anything you've seen about Keith Richards in real life is true. So.
All right, so you just did a little bit of an impression of Keith Richards.
Uh-huh.
How about you do your Popeye impression? I hear that you also did some
voice
for Popeye.
I can practice celebrity voices or cartoon voices and get pretty close to them. And Westwood One and some other companies hired me to remaster cartoons, and I did the Popeye thing for many of them. Like, oh my gosh, olive oil, who will blows me down? Skippy-dee,
That's pretty talented. You have a lot of different talents.
Hey, go ahead, make my day, punk.
So we might be seeing you maybe on the big screen one day.
I don't think it'll ever. The little screen's not even kind to me anymore as I age, so you never know.
You made your way around and everybody still loves you, so I don't know about
I don't know about that either.
But speaking of everybody loving you, now that you're a man of the community, so what are some of the community events that you participate in?
I'm an advocate of Special Olympics. I believe everybody has the right to get up in the morning and attain as high a level as he or she can, whether it's intellectual difficulties, physical difficulties, and I do a lot. I'm on the state board of directors with SOPA, Special Olympics, and I just try to get involved with the community because, I just believe, you have hundreds of selections out there to watch. But you turn on the TV, maybe to watch me or Marty or Tim Tender, and we appreciate that, but I appreciate the community I'm in because there are smarter people and better looking people that can have this job. I just appreciate having it.
Yeah, and now you're the chief meteorologist. How do you feel about that?
It's a fun job. Every day it's different. Some days I get the forecast right on the money, and there's some days that I think I should be maybe out doing landscaping or something for a living. It's just being outside. But I enjoy what I do. Still do.
Well, when I started off here, I started off as the intern with the weather department with Jim and Tim and Tony. And I have heard some of the interesting phone calls and stuff that they get, like, where's the snow? You said it was going to snow, but it's hard to get it exact. And you have to try to accommodate to, the worst so people are always expecting the worst, or?
You have to be, it's a very fine line. You don't want to cry wolf all the time, but living where we do with the high elevations, it's almost like a crapshoot. You look at certain things, you just spend a lot of time trying to figure it out. Some days you're right, some days you're not.
Yeah, well, these are very inspirational and smart men. I mean, I know, obviously, I'm not in meteorology anymore, so, they didn't discourage me from that. They still have me in the news. If I make it anywhere, I think it's because of these men right here.
Well, my thoughts are, you have all the talent in the world to do this. Just be yourself and be unique. That's the only thing. Use your personality and just be a genuine person. I'm the same in person as you see on television,
Well, I've also had the opportunity to go around to different classes with Jim, and like I said, you're very inspirational. You not only inspired me, I was just in a public speaking class with Jim, and he did a wonderful job there, and I'm sure he inspired a lot of people there. Everybody was coming up to him after class, congratulating him. How do you feel about that, being so inspirational and helping people?
Again, that's a bonus. That's the best part of my job, talking to little kids in daycares, reading books, or talking to a college class. It's all about, my attitude is, if I can do this, you can do it. It just takes the desire to do it. You have to persevere and work hard at it. And like I said, I could be replaced tomorrow by somebody younger, so I still try to do my job as best I can. And when I can't do that or refuse to do that anymore, it's time to step aside and let somebody else have it.
All right. Well, you've had a lot of adventures. We got to hear about some of them. Do you have any adventures planned for the future? I mean, I know you go on all these travels and everything like that with the station, but anything specifically for you that you're planning on doing before?
Well, when I finally get done working here, I don't know how many more years that'll be, 1, 4, 5, who knows, but I would love to eventually end up in Alaska or British Columbia. I love the colder climates. I'd like to run a lodge maybe and just be able to be around people and listen to some of their stories and, maybe even try my hand at writing myself.
Yeah, well, and also I decided that I wasn't going to throw this in, but I have to. You are pretty much a ladies' man. Everybody's always asking me about you. So, what's going on with the ladies? You got any stories about anything?
No, I have no stories about that.
Modest?
I'm modest about that. I have somebody I'm very fond of, and I've been with for a while now, and that's pretty much the way it is.
All right, so that's it, ladies. He's off the market, so you have to remember that one. But thank you for all your time today, and this was a better look at your local meteorologist, Jim Burton of WJAC TV.
Have a good day.